the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series heads off to Daytona International Super Speedway. That's right, not for the high-banked oval. They're going to run that international road course. Gonna be one heck of a time for these drivers here tonight, I can assure you that. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Darkside Dave in the cave bringing you all the calls here from the track tonight for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series Hold My Beer 40. Multiple drivers already out on track. We'll throw a little bit of the information up for you there. You can see about halfway through tonight's qualifying session already. And nobody putting in a timed lap yet. Nobody able to slot themselves on the speed chart. And looks like Garrett Davis finally turning in the first timed lap here in qualifying. So that's 69. Gonna take the top of the speed charts this time. We'll see if anybody else is able to slot in a timed lap here in qualifying. 40 laps around this giant, famous road course here at Daytona International Speedway. There you can see 3.5 miles in length. These drivers are going to have to circuit this course 40 times here tonight. Stage number 1 going to come to a close at the completion of a lap number 10. Lap number 20, we will see stage number 2 come out, and then a 20-lap run to the end of tonight's race. Driver still out there qualifying. Garrett Davis, only driver to put in a time lap. So we'll jump to a little official business, some qualifying background information coming into tonight. Championship points coming into the Hold My Beer 40 here at the Daytona Road Course. Alexander Encarnacio still sitting on top of the point standings. Last week's race, last time we seen these drivers on the track, they were at iRacing Super Speedway here on iRacing.com for the 2021 All-Star Session. It was quite a show. Seen Craig Burns take the victory last week in the All-Star race. Burns sitting just a little bit behind, about 100 points out of that first spot. Alexander Encarnacio still in a commanding lead as we work our way towards the chase here in season number 1 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Looks like we've got a few more drivers turning in their qualifying laps. So quick time right now on the speedway. Jeff Carson in the 9 gets down to a 2-minute, 0.17-second lap time. So Carson doing a great job, and it looks like Steve Cabell just wants some TV time here tonight. Keeps popping up on us saying, hey, how you doing, fellas? Qualifying almost in the books here tonight. Just about 2.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, and it doesn't look like we're going to get too many more drivers out there with a qualifying lap. A lot of drivers out there struggling tonight, especially in that infield road course section. Looks like the International Horseshoe is catching a few of these drivers out, as well as that entry off of the banking and into turn 1. Looks like that's catching a few drivers out as well. The bus stop in the back has always been a problem, and looks like it is a problem here tonight for a few of these drivers. Michael Sheffield goes top of the speed charts, 1:59.32. So 2 drivers cracking into that sub 2-minute second lap time. Sheffield and Burns now at the top of the speed charts. And we do hate to do it as the drivers continue to try to put down a time lap. We'll keep our eye on the speedway, but we're going to take a quick pre-race commercial break. Head down trackside for the national anthem, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
so proudly railed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in out, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
Backtrack side as the field begins to make their way to the starting grid. Sounds like the bells ringing in the background. You know what that means, race fans. It's time to run down your starting lineup for tonight's Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing a Truck Series, live here from Daytona International Speedway, running the road course tonight. 40 laps around tonight's speedway, and who will walk away with the checkered flag? But first and foremost, walking away with the pole position here tonight, inside row number 1 out of Clutch Motorsports, the 3 of Trevor Massetti. The 1 of Michael Sheffield gonna line up just to his inside. Back in row number 2, Craig Burns and Alexander Encarnacio. Row number 3 here tonight, Chad Biesinger and Jeff Carson. Row number 4 tonight, the 59 of Stephen Baldwin Jr., followed by the 36 of Brandon Regal. Justin Hendry gonna slot his 28 machine in the 9th spot. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight, the 69 out of Evolution Racing, Garrett Davis. Row number 6 here tonight, the 5 of Ryan Azell, followed by the 14 of Bob Williams. 13th starting spot here tonight, the 18 of Steve Corbell. Jerry Culver going to line up just to his outside in the 14th spot. Brian Fine back in 15th. Chris Wilson going to line up in the 16th spot. Chris Claude followed by Jerry Hutchinson. And Kyle Spees rounds out the running order for tonight's Hold My Beer 40. Live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Once again, thank you for joining us here tonight. Race fans, glad you could be here. If you haven't already, go ahead and throw these drivers a thumbs up. I'm sure they're going to appreciate it later on here tonight when they look back and follow this thing on through that Porsche pace car. Going to get set to duck off. There you see that front stretch, that NASCAR chicane as the Porsche gets on off the track. We're set to fire things off for the first time here tonight. And on the gas, green flag flies for the first time here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Down into turn one. Looks like these truck drivers all on the binders. Everybody coming through pretty clean and clear. A little bit of a battle back here with B-Singer. Stephen Baldwin Jr. looking to the inside. The 59 of Baldwin Jr. goes into the inside. Gonna make up a spot or two here on the restart. Now up into the 6th spot. There you can see that one machine of Michael Sheffield trying to gain a spot or two back after he has dropped 2 spots already as they enter turn. I believe this is going to be turn number 4. Heading in the direction of that International Horseshoe, very famous corner. Oh, drivers finding the limits back through the pack. I believe that may have been Brandon Regal sitting just behind that 69 of Garrett Davis. Davis sporting the Barney-themed Chevy Silverado here tonight, so heck of a job there. Pretty decent paint scheme. I'll just leave it there. There you see that Dirty Mo Media 36 piloted by Brandon Regal. Regal testing the limits all over some of the curbing down there in the infield. Gonna have to watch that. Gonna have to tiptoe through some of the portions of the race later on. Gonna jump back to the front of this field though with Craig Burns trying to chase down your pole sitter. Your race leader, the 3 of Trevor Massetti, has a 2.2 second race advantage over the driver sitting right there inside that Milwaukee sponsored Ford F-150. Alexander Encarnacio back here in his 94, sitting in the 3rd spot, has Michael Sheffield hounding him, breathing down his neck. Just 0.3 of a second separate 3rd and 4th. Encarnacio, Sheffield, that's your closest battle on track. Just behind them, B-Singer, Baldwin, Carson, and Hendry all lined up, making their way through the NASCAR chicane back around lap number 2, now in the books. Only local cautions, so road course rules apply here tonight. From Daytona International Speedway in the Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. So we're not going to see those caution flags fly until the stage ends. So end of lap number 10, we will have the field come to a crawl, get behind that Porsche pace car. And then at the completion of lap number 20, we will see that caution flag fly for the end of stage number 2. That's going to let these drivers group themselves back together. But only 4 sets of tires total for these Truck Series drivers. They're going to have to pick and choose when they bring them off of the truck. They've got the tires they started this race on in 3 fresh sets on pit road. They can take one at the completion of each stage, but that is just going to give them 1 extra spare set. Drivers may choose to try to make one of these stints a long run, and looking through the timing scoring, looks like we have seen a few drivers with some trouble. Jerry Culver looks like he may have been involved with an incident, as well as Jerry Hutchinson. Stephen Baldwin Jr. also caught up with a race incident. We'll take a look back here, see what happened with Culver. And I can't whistle very well. But that is a sweet looking turn 3 Chevy Silverado right there. Big shout out to Jerry Culver. Noticed that I mentioned how well I like that turn 3 logo on his truck, and look at that. My man went out and painted a whole truck just for me, just so I could see it and talk about it. And of course, Jerry, you knew I was going to. Doesn't matter where you run here tonight, buddy. I'm coming to see you. No, I'm just kidding. Jerry Hutchinson, another driver caught up in a race incident. Looks like maybe just gassing it up and getting the tail end a little bit light. And around that 12 truck went there. Hard impact with that tire barrier. That may require a fast repair. These drivers do have one fast repair here tonight. Normally, drivers are not afforded that opportunity. Here's Stephen Baldwin Jr.'s race incident, making his way out of the infield and up back into NASCAR 1. And there we see where that truck unloads with the camber difference, getting back up onto the speedway. Oh my goodness, close there in contact with the Grey Goose. Oh my goodness. That contact did not look that bad, and I believe Ryan Ezell, wow. Big time trouble early here tonight. Tough break for the driver in that 5 truck. We'll jump back with this battle for the second spot here because Trevor Massetti, he has absolutely stepped away from the field right now. We'll begin to throw some of that gapping on the timing and scoring right there for you to follow along at home, just like we do here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. This is one of the closest battles on track. Alexander Encarnacio closing in on Craig Burns in that 2 Milwaukee sponsored Ford F-150. Both of these Ford drivers chasing down that Chevy Silverado of Massetti. 9 now make it 10 second race advantage in just 4 laps. Massetti is in another zip code. He is all alone. Clean and clear track in front. Clean and clear track behind. Massetti sitting pretty here tonight. We'll go ahead and jump up, give this man his dues, because this 3 machine is absolutely hammer down, nailing it, and walking away with a dominant lead. Back to another close battle on track. We'll jump back here just outside of your top 10. Garrett Davis in the 69 sitting just in front of that Tide 98 machine piloted by Brian Fine. Just off in front of them there you see that 18 of Steve Crapell, the S&C Transport machine, sitting just inside the top 10. As I said, running in the 9th spot, has about a 2-second gap up to get to Brandon Regal in that 36 machine, sitting in the 8th spot here. So some close battles through the front of the field, some close battles through the back. These drivers starting to gap themselves once again. As Fine able to make the pass on Davis. Davis going to fall back now, already 1.2 seconds back off of the tail end of Brian Fine. So Steve Crapell now under fire from this Ford F-150. This Tide machine is on the move. This battle right here for the 9th and 10th spot on track, just about as close as the battle out at the front of the field for the 2nd and 3rd spot on the race track. Or actually, I should say 3rd and 4th as well. Big time moment there for Michael Sheffield. All over those brakes, all over the binders. Alexander Encarnacio tiptoeing down into turn number 1. We've seen that catch quite a few drivers out. Looks like he's tiptoeing down into the corner using that good old road racing analogy and mentality of easy in, fast off. And it looks like the 94 able to make his way up 1 spot from where he started tonight's race up until now, the 3rd and final podium spot. And we're halfway through stage number 1. And my goodness, Trevor Massetti absolutely gone right now. 13 now make it 14-second race advantage for the man right here on your screen. That 3 of Trevor Massetti looking like a road course ace, a road course ringer. I tell you what, if anybody needs a driver for a Daytona 24-hour race, I promise you get this guy in a car, because if he's laying down laps like this in one of these heavier 10-top Gander RV and outdoor, I don't even know if that's even right anymore. They've changed the truck so much. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Control, Alt, Delete, wipe that one away. Yeah, anyways. Able to pull some very fast laps here. Just about under a minute and 55 seconds for his quick time in the race for Trevor Massetti. Last time by a 1:57.70. That is over 2 seconds faster than the second place driver, Craig Burns, right now as they run on track. So Massetti just lap after lap, much faster than the competition on the speedway. And I'm looking to see if I can't coin up a team here and get an early jump on putting things together for the Daytona 24-hour next year. And I'm telling you, I want the driver inside of this 3 truck. He is a wheelman here on the road course at Daytona International Speedway. Gonna jump back to the battle between these 2 drivers once again. Craig Burns losing a little bit of ground as Alexander Encarnacio has made his way by. Michael Sheffield gonna follow through. Sheffield now last driver inside of those top 3 podium spots. Craig Burns falling to the wayside just a little bit. There you can see that 23 of Chad Biesinger making his way out of the International Horseshoe. Biesinger, solid 5th place run here so far tonight in that 23 machine. Jeff Carson right behind him in the 9. Looking around the speedway, trying to find the battles, trying to find you some great race action. Brandon Regal closing in on Steve Coppell. That 36 machine has been just slightly faster than Coppell the past 2 laps on the speedway and has slowly closed in. That gap was about 2 seconds, now only down to 0.8 of a second. So that Dirty Mo Media Chevy Silverado moving in the right direction, trying to close the gap on that 18. And there you see Stephen Baldwin Jr. just behind Brandon Regal here. So these 3 drivers all kind of packed up with each other. Garrett Davis has fallen off of the pace just a little bit. 3.6 seconds separates Davis from Baldwin Jr. End of stage number 1 coming very close, getting very near. Lap number 7 now already underway. Just 3 more times around this racetrack, and we will slow things down. We will regroup, gather the field back up once again, and that almost 19-second race advantage for Trevor Massetti is going to disappear, and hard on the brakes, locking him up, is the 36 of Regal, trying to stay out of the rear end of Steve Coppell, trying to keep that S&C transport machine, its rear bumpers straight. Big time moment there for not just that 36, but also for Coppell. If they had made contact, that would have put a damper on both of their stage runs right now. Baldwin Jr. going a little bit wide there through the horseshoe. Garrett Davis slowly starting to close that gap back, running in that 12th position there. You can see him making his way out of the horseshoe and back towards NASCAR 1 and 2. Oh, and Davis spins it. Davis on the throttle a little bit too soon, and around that 69 Barney machine goes. Back towards the front, we'll check this battle out once again. Michael Sheffield has got Jeff Carson right behind him. Sheffield Graphics #1 machine looking sweet out there tonight at Daytona International Speedway, sunny Florida. looking pretty promising here. Snowing outside here in the mountains of North Carolina, so I would much rather have that Daytona weather. Gonna jump around just a little bit now as we make our way around the track on lap number 8 out of the 40 scheduled in tonight's official race distance in the Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Lap number 10, we will see the stage caution fly. Field will gather themselves back up, but for the moment, we'll run down your top 5 in the running order here tonight as they make their way around this track. Your race leader dominating here tonight, out to almost a 20-second race advantage in just 8 laps. The man on the screen from California, the 17-year-old Trevor Massetti. Solid second place, and losing that second place, so we'll have to jump up just a little bit. Out of Ortonville, the 26-year-old inside of that Milwaukee Ford F-150, Craig Burns, now takes over the second spot. Alexander Encarnacio, you seen him with a spin there as we came to him on screen, making his way back to NASCAR. One's going to give up that second spot, recover, and maintain a podium spot here going into the backstretch chicane. 94 of Encarnacio, your points leader, running in third. Chad Biesinger closed the gap with that trouble by Massetti. Biesinger straight on the track, straight away, trying to get to the back end of Encarnacio, get a little bit of a draft if he can. 47-year-old piloting that Toyota Tundra, looking to gain a few extra spots here if he can towards the end of stage number 1. Driver back in the 5th spot out of Emporia, Virginia. That's a very familiar NASCAR known town. We'll have to check in with Sheffield, see if he knows about what we're talking about. But Sheffield rounding out your top 5 on lap number 9 here in the 40 scheduled in the official race distance tonight for the Hold My Beer 40. Back with this battle on track here. There you can find Chris Claude, Jerry Hutchinson. They're battling for 13th and 14th on the track. Looks like Claude going ahead and yielding that position. That 12 Gatorade machine going to make his way to the outside and around through turn number 1 and solidly into that 13th position. Back up to this battle, Steve Crapel. He's still got Stephen Baldwin Jr. behind him. Brandon Regal has had an issue and fallen back behind that 59 and out of the screen, not even in the screenshot that time by. So Stephen Baldwin Jr. has stepped away from Brandon Regal, who has dropped about 7 seconds from these two truck drivers that continue to battle here on the final lap in stage number 1. Your race leader, Trevor Massetti. There you can see him already down into turn number 1. And let's take a look at that gap. There you can see it. Second place, not even through the NASCAR chicane on the front stretch just yet. That is just how dominant this 3 machine right here has been all race long. And there you can see some scuffs and scrapes on the inside, that left side of your race leader's number 3 machine. Looks like the right side does have a little bit of scuffs and scrapes as well. So a little beaten and battered here for Massetti, but still able to dominate so far here tonight. Burns and Encarnacio, 1.3 seconds separate those two drivers for the second and third spot on the track. Massetti makes his way back onto NASCAR 1 on the final lap here in stage number 1. Back through the field, we'll jump back with some more of the close battles going on. Craig Burns right there in the second spot, and Alexander Encarnacio closing in. There you can see that familiar 94 machine piloted by Encarnacio trying to make his way back up into one of those top two spots. Encarnacio running in the second spot for a brief time there at the beginning of the race. We're still at the beginning of the race, but 10 laps around a 3.5 mile track, that is quite some driving time. That's some seat time right there. Chad Biesinger closing the gap in as well on Encarnacio. Back in the fourth position, Michael Sheffield still rounds out your top five. As Burns goes through the backstretch chicane, we'll jump back up with your race leader who's going to cross the line for the stage win here at the Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Walking away with the win in stage number 1. The man on the screen right there coming right at you in your living room. That 3 of Trevor Massetti. And there you see it, that stage caution finally being displayed as the drivers make their way across the line. Gonna end stage number 1. Man on your screen, the 3 of Trevor Massetti will wait for the Porsche pace car. Field will catch back up, and drivers will have a little bit of a chance to reset, a little bit of a chance to fix some damage here. Under caution, able to fix a lot more damage than what you would normally get over 2 seconds around the track at speed. So under caution, that lap time is going to be much, much longer. So if you've had a little bit of trouble, you might be able to find yourself fixing up quite a bit of that damage, as the pace laps are a little bit extended here on the road course side of things. So as Trevor Massetti makes his way to the back of the it's not a Ford Mustang, it's a Porsche pace car here tonight. We're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set and ready to go for stage number 2. But again, walking away with the stage win at the end of stage number 1. Driver inside of that 3 truck, Trevor Massetti. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this 0.625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison.
And back trackside as the Porsche safety car, pace car, whichever one you want to call it. I call it the pace car. Says it's a safety car, but who reads things anyways? You know what I mean? Lights back out on the pace car here tonight. Field ready to fire things back off here once again for the second time tonight in the Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Chad Biesinger able to snatch away the lead of the race under that stage caution down there on pit road. Looks like his crew was lightning fast compared to everybody else here tonight. Only one driver faster on pit road, and that was the crew of the 98 of Brian Fine. He has made up 9 spots from where he started tonight's race, and part of that is due to that great pit stop by that 98 machine, his Ford F-150, now sitting just outside of your top 5. Starting lineup for this latest restart here tonight in the Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Starting inside row number 1 with control of the race. Once the pace car ducks on off the field, the 23 of Chad Biesinger will have Craig Burns just to his outside. Trevor Massetti dominating that first stage, walking away with almost a 20-second advantage. By the time we seen that stage-ending caution, he'll line up in that third spot. Jeff Carson just to his outside. Michael Sheffield rounds out your top 5 here for the restart of stage number 2. Still a very long way to go here tonight. Not quite to that halfway point. Closing in very quickly on the halfway point, but still a long way to go. Gonna have to keep our eye on the timing and scoring. Looks like out of the 17 drivers that took to the starting grid tonight, we have still got all 17 out there on the track, but only 15 left on your lead lap. Field double file getting ready to make their way off of NASCAR 4 and through the NASCAR chicane here on the front stretch here at Daytona International Speedway. Drivers set to fire things off once again. Biesinger with control will fire things off. That pace car gonna duck off this time by there. You see it just off in front of these trucks and ready to make that left-hand turn. There it goes, waiting forward in the restart box. Green flag flies as Biesinger nails the loud pedal. His Toyota Tundra skates away from the field now. Back into turn 1, everybody clean and clear. Oh, hard on the brakes there. Just behind Carson, I believe that was the 28 machine of Justin Hendry. Hard on the brakes there into turn number 1, trying to hound and scratch and claw his way up through the field, down running in that 5th spot, up 4 spots from where he started tonight's race. And here comes Alexander Encarnacio. Great move down into turn number 3. And oh, Jeff Carson gets spun. Carson goes around. There you see the 9 off track now, back onto the speedway, back onto the pavement. That's where you got to keep it if you want to be fast. But Carson getting a little bit of tail, happy and spinning there early on the beginning of stage number 2. Trevor Massetti now already back up into those podium spots, running in the 3rd position now, making his way into NASCAR 1 and 2. Way up the track goes Craig Burns. He's going to lose the spot to Massetti on the bottom. It's a drag race through the super speedway portion, and there you can see that too of Burns kicking up a little bit of dust with that right rear. Track a little bit dirtier than normal with these drivers not running constantly out there on those high banks, so you may typically see A little bit of dust, a little bit of particles and debris kicked up by some of these drivers as they get outside of the racing lane. Gonna jump back to another hot and heavy battle on the track. Battle for the 5th spot. Justin Hendry has it. Alexander Encarnacio wants it, and he is closing in, and closing in quick. Another battle on the speedway. Stephen Baldwin Jr., Brian Fine. Steve Kerpel looks to the inside on Fine. Gonna take that spot away through NASCAR chicane. Set his sights on that 59 of Stephen Baldwin Jr. Kerpel up 5 spots from where he started tonight's race. There you can see him just in front of Brian Fine's Ford F-150, that tied Ford machine. Oh, and Kerpel blows turn number 1 way wide. He's going to lose that spot, give that back to Brian Fine, and Fine will now secure that 8th position. Back up front here with this battle, though, once again, Alexander Encarnacio, Justin Hendry. They continue to battle through the infield course. And just like that, that battle's going to dissipate and go away. As the 28 struggling just a little bit, falling back into the clutches of Stephen Baldwin Jr., but back at the front. Look at this. Massetti is there, and now looking to the inside of Biesinger onto NASCAR 1. New race leader. Once again, your pole sitter, your stage number 1 winner, Trevor Massetti, back to the top of the speed charts, back to the race lead. Gonna run down your top 5 once again for you here tonight. There you can see, once again, Trevor Massetti, top of the board. Race leader dominating here so far. Gave up the race lead there at the end of stage number 1 during his pit stop. Restarted in the 3rd spot. Didn't take him very long, and back to the race lead goes Massetti back in the 2nd spot. There you can see a battle between Chad Biesinger, and hard on the brakes is Craig Burns. Biesinger able to keep the 23 truck up inside the podium spots right now. Biesinger with a quicker pit stop there under that stage brake. And he looks to try to keep that BSR 23 machine up inside the podium spots. Craig Burns hard on the brakes. You seen it that last time by. Into, I believe that was into the NASCAR chicane. Hard on the brakes. There you can see a little bit of a wiggle under the braking right there again for the 2 of Burns. And struggling right now as he's got Michael Sheffield looking to the inside. Sheffield running in the 4th spot out of Emporia, Virginia. The 45-year-old looking to pilot that 1 machine up a little further through the field. Rounding out your top 5 once again, Massachusetts' very own, your championship points leader, 94 of Alexander Encarnacio out of Encarnacio Racing, getting the job done here tonight, having a great solid run at a track that, if we're familiar with some of the post-race interviews, if you think back to some of the last few times we talked to Alexander and we mentioned this track, this was a track that I don't want to say he was not wanting to see, that he was not wanting to go to, but a track that he was definitely upfront about gonna possibly have a few struggles. But he is looking pretty good here. And oh, Craig Burns with an issue. Burns off track. He's going to lose a ton of ground and a ton of spots. We'll take a look here, see what happened with Burns. And through the backstretch chicane into the grass a little bit, and around that truck goes. It's all it takes to upset this truck. At times, the loads can be quite precarious for these trucks, exiting the flatter chicane area back onto the banking there into NASCAR 3. The truck can unload a little bit, and I know what you're saying. Well, Dave, he was down near the grass, and that's exactly it. The the truck reacting a little bit differently when those left sides and only those left sides hit that grass, unloads it just a little bit, and around it goes. With just 23 laps now remaining, Trevor Massetti enjoys a 6-second race advantage over the field. Michael Sheffield back in the second spot. Alexander Encarnacio, man on your screen, closing the gap, closing the distance between himself and Sheffield. Stephen Baldwin Jr. now running in fourth as Bob Williams and Craig Burns has crashed yet again. Burns with another issue. We'll take a look back here and see what happened with Williams. That 14 truck beaten up in the front end and hard on the brakes, and around it goes right in front of your race leader. That could have ended bad for your race leader, Trevor Massetti. Fortunately enough, it did not. We'll check out and see now what happened with that 2 of Burns. Burns right behind Chris Claude here into, I believe that is turns number 2 and 3. And around that truck goes, just unloading again, just the tail end. Getting a little happy, getting a little loose, and around Burns goes. So a bad situation getting worse now for Burns as he has fallen from grace all the way from up inside your podium positions all the way back now to the 12th spot. We'll rejoin the race back live once again with your race leader Trevor Massetti as he crosses the line to begin clicking the laps off to the halfway point here tonight. Lap number 18 now underway. Just 22 laps remaining here from Daytona International Speedway in the Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Closest action on the track is this one right here. Garrett Davis closing in on Justin Hendry. The Ford Credit 28 machine trying to keep himself in a fighting spot for a top 5 just outside reaches of Brian Fine. There you can see that 98 making the left-hand turn, getting ready to head off towards the International Horseshoe once again. And I'm just not sure anybody's going to be able to do anything with Trevor Massetti, man. He is lightning fast, and he is just absolutely gone once again. Going to take a moment just to check in with a few drivers. The 18 of Steve Capel, there you can see him. Back in the 9th spot, just inside of the top 10. Chad Biesinger just behind him. Biesinger was running towards the front of the field on that latest restart. He has since dropped all the way back to the 10th spot, but still in a good solid run. Biesinger maybe playing a little bit of fuel strategy, maybe playing a tire game here. We'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out at the end of the stage number 2. We are knocking on the door of the completion of stage number 2 here very shortly. Craig Burns, another driver that has fallen from grace all the way outside of the top 10 after being right there in the 2nd spot and still struggling hard on to one of the curbs there in the NASCAR chicane. And Burns very slow looking, like his truck is beginning to fade away from him. Another driver going to check in with this man on screen. Told you you'd get some TV time for this one right there. Sweet looking turn 3. Number 13 piloted by Jerry Culver sitting in the 16th spot. First driver off of the lead lap looking to get that lucky dog when we see the full course caution flag wave here for the completion of stage number 2, and that's going to come very shortly. And it looks like that 13 could use a fast repair. The nose beaten and battered, and I'm sure it has seen some better days. Back towards the front of the field, though, there you can see the battle still continuing to rage on for that second spot. The one of Michael Sheffield still in the second position. Alexander Encarnacio still right behind him. Stephen Baldwin Jr., Brian Fine round out your top 5. Just 20 laps remaining now. Halfway point right on our doorstep for your race leader, Trevor Massetti, in the 3 truck has stepped out now to an 8.5 second race lead. Just as our stage number 2 caution flag flies, that's going to be the end of stage number 2, walking away with the stage win for the second time here tonight from Daytona International Speedway. Trevor Massetti looking for the clean sweep. Fast in happy hour, fastest in qualifying, walking away with the pole, award-winning stage number 1. Stage number 2 now in the bag. Can he complete it all and walk away with the race win at the end of this final stage? We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. Field gonna get themselves caught back up behind that Porsche pace car. We're gonna step away for an extended commercial break once again. Let these drivers catch back up to the pace car, get in their pit stops, then we'll head back trackside for all your green flag action live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. From Daytona International from Daytona International Speedway. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Back trackside as the field has received the one to go, making their way through this infield road course section, heading towards the International Horseshoe. Looky here, driver in that second spot. The 94 of Alexander Encarnacio has found his way to that front row here for the final restart of tonight's Hold My Beer 40, brought to you by Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. If you haven't already, race fans, throw these Truck Series drivers, a thumbs up. Click subscribe and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by, whether you're just casually stopping through or you are the dedicated fan, friend, or family. We do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. So go ahead and throw these Truck Series drivers a thumbs up on this one. They have been putting it down. And your race leader dominating here tonight, dominating each and every stage, dominating in the qualifying session as well. Massetti looks for the clean sweep here tonight, but will Alexander Encarnacio spoil the show? Or could possibly that one of Michael Sheffield make his way into a top spot? We'll have to wait and see. These drivers may need a green flag pit stop. We'll just have to wait to see how it all unfolds. 2 sets of tires already used by all of these drivers, so it looks like just one extra set down there on pit lane. We will not see a full course caution again, so these drivers may or may not come down for those tires. It's all a matter of what the strategy, the crew chief, and the spotter feel like doing here. We'll have to wait and see how it all mixes up, how it all shakes out here in the final few laps of tonight's Hold My Beer 40. 16 laps remaining when we get the green flag here for the final restart of tonight's race. There you see that pace car finally through the NASCAR chicane, gonna duck off. We're set to fire things off once again. green flag flies as Massetti nails the loud pedal one more time. Field sets sail back to turn number 1. Still side by side back there for that third and fourth spot. Alexander Encarnacio slotting into the second with no problem. Garrett Davis fast around the outside, looking to make the pass on Sheffield. Not going to make it work just yet. Sheffield up into third now, all over Garrett Davis. Is Brian Fine, and Davis almost into the back end of that one of Sheffield. Wiggling under, breaking Brian Fine looks to the inside. Here comes Garrett Davis once again in the 69, back in the 6th spot, trying to make his way by Stephen Baldwin Jr., Chad Biesinger back in the 7th spot, Jeff Carson, Jerry Hutchinson, Ryan Izell back rounding out your top 10. This is some of the closest battles right here, nose to tail, all the way back from Michael Sheffield in the 1 truck, all the way back to about the 10th, 11th place runners, Craig Burns, Justin Hendry, back in 11th and 12th. Steve Kerpel back there in that battle. Chris Claude just off of Burns. Kerpel right behind him. Brandon Regal. Jerry Culver sitting in the 16th spot, being scored the first car off of the lead lap. Back towards the front with the big battle on the track. And drivers blowing through the chicane. The 69 is going to have to yield those spots, yield some time here, and that's going to allow Stephen Baldwin Jr. and Chad Biesinger to close in just a little bit more there. You can see that big run now as the 59 makes his way to the bottom of the speedway. The 69 of Davis struggling after blowing through that back stretch chicane, now into the NASCAR chicane, and drivers hard on the brakes. You can see the smoke boiling through the track each and every time they enter that section of the speedway. Brian Fine in a solid 3rd place right now. Great run up there by that 98. Finally able to make his way by Michael Sheffield. Sheffield gonna slot back now in the 4th position, 2 spots back from where he started tonight's race. And the biggest mover is your man on screen right there in that tied Ford F-150. Brian Fine up 12 spots from where he started tonight's Hold My Beer 40 in the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Gonna jump back to this battle because it is a hot and heavy one. There you can see that 9 of Jeff Carson, the 23 of Chad Biesinger, Garrett Davis. They're battling for 5th, 6th, and 7th on the track. Just a little over 1 second back there, you can see and find. Excuse me. There you can see and find Stephen Baldwin Jr. and Jerry Hutchinson. Ryan Izell still lined up just behind them. Izell having some trouble in stage number 1, having to burn that fast repair very early. And oh my goodness, what has happened to Michael Sheffield? He has fallen way out of the top 5, way out of the top 10 now, all the way back to the 12th spot. Let's go look and see what happened to the 1. There you can see Sheffield gassing it up, coming out of the infield. Catches that transition on the banking, and around he goes, and he is way down there on the apron. That is giving up a ton of time, and you can see 4, 5, 6 trucks make their way by fairly easily after the 1 of Sheffield goes for a spin. Contact between Garrett Davis and I believe that was the 23 of Chad Biesinger, and yes, it was contact between those 2 drivers. Biesinger and Davis coming together on that front stretch chicane. Both of those machines going to be a little bit more beaten and battered, and Jerry Culver off in the distance. There you see with another spin. Culver struggling out there tonight in that turn 3 racing Chevy Silverado. We'll take a look back through the field once again at a few of these drivers that continue to struggle. There you can see Garrett Davis beaten and battered. Barney has seen some better days. Justin Hendry in his Ford F-150 makes his way by into the 10th spot. Chris Claude in the 10 trying to put his Tundra up in the 11th spot. He's going to grab that spot away from Davis now as Kerpel has closed the distance and is right there in his S&C Transport sponsored Toyota Tundra. Can he find a way to make his way inside the top 10? And looks like more drivers with some more issues towards the front of the field. Stephen Baldwin Jr. goes around. Jumping back, we'll check in on that. We'll see how it all went down with the 59. There you can see him trying to go by the back marker, the 5 of Ryan Azell. Those drivers split the back marker and hard in. Oh my goodness. Just nosed it right into that tire barrier, hard into the corner. Just trying to make his way by the lap traffic, by the back marker. And unfortunately for Stephen Baldwin Jr., he has dropped not just outside of the top 5 or 10, but outside now, or knocking on the door of outside of the top 15, running in the 14th position, way behind your race leader. Now Brandon Regal pushing. Regal has an issue. Regal goes off track. We'll jump back with this replay. And again, that transition from the infield to NASCAR 1 catches yet another driver out. The 36 Dirty Mo Media machine goes around once again. I believe that is the second or third time that has actually happened to that 36 truck, but we soldier on. We continue on back live once again with the front of the field. Alexander Encarnacio, there you can see him in that second spot, 10.7 seconds behind this man right here on screen, your race leader, familiar face, familiar paint scheme out here tonight at the front of the field. He has pretty much dominated this entire race. I mean, 11.5 seconds now as he makes his way into the backstretch chicane, and still just look, he's not taking it easy, folks. He is on the wheel. And I tell you what, speaking of on the wheel, why don't we head down trackside with a few of our onboard camera shots here tonight from Daytona International Speedway. Why don't we jump down on board with one of our onboard cockpit cameras right here with the driver at the front of the field leading tonight's race, the 3 of Trevor Massetti. Another one of our onboard camera shots here tonight, on board with Craig Burns in the 2 machine as he closes in on Jerry Hutchinson. That is a battle for the 6th and 7th spot on the track. Hutchinson up 12 spots from where he started tonight's race, but under fire and in danger. Oh! Looks like Hutchinson gonna break away for pit road. Gonna make his final pit stop of the race. Hutchinson looking for a little bit of an undercut here late in the goings from Daytona International Speedway in the Hold My Beer 40. Brought to you by Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Stephen Baldwin Jr., another driver with an onboard camera here tonight for us. We do appreciate each and every one of the teams out there allowing us to put some of these cameras here on board with them to bring you some of the great action shots here live from Daytona International Speedway here in the Hold My Beer 40 as the 18 of Steve Kerpel, there you seen him just off in the distance, makes a mistake, gasses up, and goes around. Seen that happen quite often here tonight out of multiple different drivers. And there you can see up close and personal once again that 3 of Massetti just absolutely flying around this speedway here tonight. Just amazingly 15 seconds in front of the second place runner, Alexander Encarnacion. We'll give you a little bit of your driver rundown. Why don't we throw some of that information up on screen for you? Driver sitting in the top spot right now. Driver inside of that 3 truck has been up front pretty much all race long out of Foul Plugs Racing. the 3 of Trevor Massetti. Alexander Encarnacio still running a solid second place here tonight. 15 now, make it 16 and a half seconds behind Massetti. But Massetti has been in a world of his own, so I guess best of the rest, Alexander Encarnacio sitting in that second spot. He's got 2.5 second advantage over the F5 Motorsports driver in that 98 machine, Brian Fine, having a fine run here tonight. No real pun intended there, but still a great night for that 98. Just behind him, the 9 of Jeff Carson has a little bit of distance to make up, right around an 8-second gap. And oh, there goes the 23 of Chad Biesinger. Biesinger goes around coming out of turn number 4. Biesinger gonna give up that 5th spot to this man right here, Craig Burns. We had heard from Craig last week about the struggle that he may have here tonight, and there you can see absolutely having some struggles and some issues here tonight throughout tonight's race. Not really confined to just one segment or one spot in the race, one spot on track. Burns has been struggling all over this road course here tonight. And that is your top 5 rundown as we inch closer to the end of tonight's race. Drivers have done a fantastic job laying down the laps. Massetti coming through the NASCAR chicane, gonna hit the start-finish line and begin us on our final countdown here tonight in the Hold My Beer 40. Just 10 laps remaining here from Daytona International Speedway, live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Glad you could all join us here tonight, and what a dominating performance it has been for Massetti. Back to battles on the track. You should see Steve Capel right there in the 18 machine. He's closing in on Michael Sheffield. Sheffield right there, last driver inside the top 10. Under heavy braking, and Capel gonna blow the chicane. He's gonna have to give up some time and look for Sheffield to try to capitalize and use that black flag timing to his advantage, and he's going to absolutely do so and open up now a 3-second gap over Steve Capel. So that's just how fast and how quick a battle can either be created or put to bed. Jerry Hutchinson as well as Garrett Davis, they're battling for position. Close moment there going into NASCAR chicane. Now back onto the front stretch. 12 machine trying to make his way up by Garrett Davis. Davis has struggled here tonight and has found some trouble multiple times throughout tonight's Hold My Beer 40, but continues to run strong up inside the top 15. That Barney Chevy Silverado just in front of Jerry Hutchinson, sitting in the 12th position. Back to that 13 machine of Jerry Culver. He has seen some better days. Look at that left rear quarter panel beaten and battered. Some of the paint already scraped off. This is going to be one of those race weekends when they look back through the season that Culver is going to wish maybe he had a mulligan or a do-over. And I don't know, maybe quite possibly just a provisional, maybe a start and park. Tough sledding out there tonight for that 13 machine, being piloted by Jerry Culver, sitting back in the 16th spot, last driver on the last driver on the track, being scored multiple laps down here tonight. Looking for a few battles. We'll jump back up now with a battle just inside of your top 10. There you can see Chris Claude trying to keep Michael Sheffield at bay. That is a 9th and 10th place battle on track with just 9 laps remaining in tonight's 40-lap race here for the Hold My Beer 40, sponsored by Wallbangers Racing Truck Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Glad you could all join us, race fans. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Hard on the brakes and sideways into the NASCAR chicane. Chris Claude gonna lose some ground. Here comes Sheffield looking to the inside. Will he have it? No. Will he have enough to make the pass going into turn number 1? And indeed he does. Sheffield now in the 9th spot, has about 6.5 seconds to get to Stephen Baldwin Jr. in 9 laps. Not sure he's going to be able to have the pace in that truck, but I can assure you he is going to try to get that job done. Back towards the front of the field, though, Chad Biesinger and Craig Burns, they battle for a spot inside the top 5 right now. That advantage goes to the 23 down on the inside of the track, making his way back onto NASCAR 1 and 2. It's so kind of funny for us NASCAR guys to say back on the track in NASCAR 1 and 2, but you know. Craig Burns now takes that spot back over once again, put Burns back into the top 5, not letting him go just yet. Biesinger hot on the trail through the backstretch chicane and trying all he can to make his way back inside that top 5, but losing a little bit of ground there through that section of the track. Now back 1 second behind the 2 of Craig Burns. Gonna check back in with your race leader right here, the man on your screen. With just 8 laps remaining, Trevor Massetti enjoys a 23-second race advantage over Alexander Encarnacio, still slotted in that 2nd spot pretty comfortably for that 94 of Encarnacio. He enjoys a 5-second advantage over Brian Fine, and Fine with quite a comfortable gap to the next driver back behind him. 10 seconds back to get to Jeff Carson in the 4th spot, and another 9 seconds for Carson over Burns. So your top 5 pretty much settled on out unless there are some catastrophic moves and failures here late in the going. And I don't know, race fans, we may need to protest this. We may need to check out what's under the hood of that 3 truck, because he is just blinding fast. It's almost like he's got a little bit more power, a little bit more grip or something. There is, that 3 is, everybody else is racing in Daytona. I don't even know that Massetti's in the state anymore. I think he's went ahead and moved on and already heading towards Chicago, because this one is pretty much in the bag. All he's got to do is keep it on the track and out of any trouble. As he continues to make his way through some back markers here. There you can see the 5 of Ryan Ezell trying to stay on the lead lap, but unfortunately, no, that's not going to be the case. He's going to lose that lap and be the first car scored off of the lead lap here tonight. Not very many battles and no real battle at all on the speedway to speak of. So we'll just jump around here, highlight a few drivers that maybe we haven't been to yet here tonight. I tell you what, why not this man right here, the Grey Goose of Ryan Ezell, caught up in a very early race incident, not being able to cover since. That 5 of Ezell scored back in the 14th spot. First car off of your lead lap. Good run here tonight for this driver in the Hold My Beer 40, the driver inside of that tin machine, Chris Claude, piloting his way to a solid top 10 here so far tonight. And looks like Steve Capel, he's going to make up a spot or 2 as he makes his way by Garrett Davis. And Davis really beginning to struggle in the late going here as just 7 laps remain in tonight's Hold My Beer 40 and the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. This is one of your closest running battles on the track. Chad Biesinger just behind Craig Burns there. You can see that 23 just off in the distance, just enough to make Burns' eyes go to the mirrors every now and again just to check on the gap, just to keep track of where Biesinger is running. And now through that chicane, looks like Biesinger has had some issues and trouble and has dropped quite a bit of time to the driver sitting inside that 2 machine. Burns looking to walk away with a top 5 here tonight. No real battles on track to speak of, as it looks like Ryan Azell brings his 5 machine down to pit road. Jerry Culver still sitting back here in the 15th spot. The 13 has seen some better days. Craig Burns way off track. He's going to give up a ton of time to Chad Biesinger. Biesinger looking to capitalize, not able to do so through turns 3 and 4. Oh, and Burns sideways again. Those tires look to be giving up. Burns gonna drop that spot now late in the going, struggling to even get it going back right. Gonna drop yet another spot to the 28 of Justin Henry. He now gets that to Milwaukee Ford F-150 headed back in the right direction, and Chad Biesinger takes over the last spot inside your top 5. Trevor Massetti at the front of the field, over a 30-second race advantage. My goodness, that is absolutely killing it. And I'm telling you, these drivers may need to protest this one. They may need to check out what's underneath the hood of that 3 machine, because I've said he's in another world. I've said he's in another zip code. But I don't even know that that description is doing justice to what this man has been able to accomplish here in a very short run. We only had about 17 laps on this run to the checkered flag, and he has absolutely destroyed the field. 5 laps to go, 32 seconds out in front of the field. Massetti has just absolutely been pounding the pavement all night long, and he is looking for the clean sweep. Only 12 drivers now remain on the lead lap. Garrett Davis being scored in the 12th position. That 69 Barney Chevy Silverado has seen some better days here tonight. Steve Crapell looks like he's closing in a little bit on the 10 of Chris Claude. We'll jump up to that battle here in just a brief moment. Stephen Baldwin Jr. in the 59 comes to pit road. With some of these drivers making their way to pit road for yet another stop, does your race leader have enough fuel to get to the end? We'll have to keep our eye on the timing and scoring. See how long Stephen Baldwin Jr. is down there on pit road, and looks like a gas and go for Baldwin Jr. Just 4 seconds in the box. And oh my, big time moment late in the race. Craig Burns off track yet again. Let's check back here, see what happened to Burns. And not a big-time race incident there, but still a little bit of a slowdown. That's going to slow Craig Burns to a crawl for just a brief moment. Your race leader, Trevor Massetti, continuing to stay out on track. Does not look like he's going to try to bring that 3 machine to pit road anytime soon, with just 4 laps now remaining in tonight's Hold My Beer 40 in the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. What a dominating performance here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely blown away at the speed that Trevor Massetti has been able to keep, not just for his quick time tonight, but just the consistent fast laps, lap after lap, upwards of 2 seconds faster than Alexander Encarnacio running in the second spot. Man, I tell you what, last time by 1:58.37 for Massetti, and it looks like last time by for Encarnacio was a 2-minute lap. So right there, already just about 2 seconds faster. No, Massetti loose going by a back marker. That could have ended bad for your race leader, Trevor Massetti, as he made his way by Chris Claude. Claude now gonna fall off of the lead lap. First driver being scored off the lead lap, back in the 11th position. A little bit of a rundown through the field as we close in on the final few laps. There you can see your race leader, Trevor Massetti, right on screen. Driver back in the second spot, Alexander Encarnacio. That 94 looking good, looking solid. Little bit of a moment there for Encarnacio, trying to make his way by that 36 of Brandon Regal. Regal being scored one lap down here tonight, struggling to keep pace. Back in the third spot, there you can see that 98 of Brian Fine, and he is trying to close the distance, trying to make it to that second spot. Driver back in the fourth position, Jeff Carson in the 9 machine, looking good, looking solid, up 2 spots from where he started tonight's race. We'll jump back now. We haven't spoken about this driver very much here tonight, but inside of that Ford F-150, piloting his 28 machine up into a solid spot here tonight, knocking on the door of a top 5, the 28 of Justin Hendry. Popsicle sticks on display. Your race leader, Massetti, has crossed the line. 2 laps remaining here tonight. And it is, the 28 gets loose, gassing it up, getting back into NASCAR 1 and 2. He's going to lose a ton of ground. Not looking like he's going to be able to catch up to the man running in that 5th and final top 5 spot, the 23 of Chad Biesinger. Back to this battle right here. We'll stick with this battle at the front of the field. It is for position. There you see Jerry Culver struggling, trying to get out of the way of the lead lap cars. The 94 of Alexander Encarnacio, Brian Fine. They're battling for second and third on track. Encarnacio all on the gas, all sideways, coming through 3 and 4. That's going to open up the door just a little bit for that 98 of Brian Fine. Fine right there on his tail through this in-field section as they head towards the International Horseshoe. Gonna have to do it at least 2 more times. Can Encarnacio keep Fine back behind him? Trouble spot on the track right there. Both of those drivers able to navigate their way through that one. We'll jump back up with your race leader now 45 seconds in front of the 94, crossing the line, white flag in the air. Final lap for your race leader, your pole sitter, your stage 1, stage 2 winner, trying to complete the complete sweep of all the race events here tonight. The 3 of Trevor Massetti. Slow Sunday drive if he wants it to be. 45-second advantage for him to play with here on his final lap. We'll jump back to this battle, still raging on for the second spot. And there you can see that distance between your race leader and these 2 drivers right here battling for second and third on track. They're just now getting their way across the start-finish line to begin their final lap of tonight's race. So still 3.5 miles for the 98 of fine to try to make up that spot. 8/10 separate those two drivers. We'll keep an eye on this battle on track, but we'll jump back up with this man making his way around the track here tonight. My goodness, field has been put on notice. Down the back stretch for the final time into the back stretch chicane on the brakes and into the left-hander. Right hand, left hand, right hand. Once again, Massetti back to NASCAR 3. Just a few more corners, and Massetti will pilot that 3 machine to victory lane through NASCAR 4 for the final time here tonight. And through that front stretch NASCAR chicane, as it has been dubbed and coined, checkered flag in the air. And capturing the flag here tonight, walking away with the road course win in dominating fashion. That 3 of Trevor Massetti gets the job done here tonight in the Hold My Beer 40, walking away with the race win. We'll check in on this battle as it continues to rage on through the backstretch chicane. Now back to the backstretch once again into turn number 3. Here comes Fine, 0.3 of a second off. He's going to have to make a big move on this front stretch chicane if he's going to take that second spot away. Not going to be there, not going to be close enough, and Alexander Encarnacio is going to walk away second on the track here tonight. Great showing for that 94, but how about this man? That tied Ford F-150 man up 12 spots from where he started tonight's race, finishing in the 3rd position. Heck of a job there by that 98 of Brian Fine. As we go back with your race winner, Trevor Massetti. He's going to enjoy a little bit of post-race celebrations. My goodness, what a job well done by Massetti and his entire crew. And with that being said, race fans, we're going to take a brief little commercial break, get things set up for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. back trackside as tonight's Hold My Beer 40 comes to completion for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. My goodness, what a great race we had here from Daytona International Speedway. And now let's see if we can't catch up and have a word or two with the driver walking away in the third and final podium spot here tonight. Driver inside of that tied Ford F-150, Brian Fine. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Dave.
Hey, man, a good solid run for you in that 98 machine. How did you feel coming into tonight's race, and how do you feel now that you've walked away with a podium finish?
Not confident at all tonight, but I'll take a top three. Wasn't expecting it whatsoever.
Not expecting a podium finish here tonight, but let's look a little bit forward real quick, Brian, if you will. Walking away tonight, you'll head to Chicago, Milwaukee, Pocono are the next few tracks on the schedule. How are you feeling about your upcoming chances in those races?
Feeling pretty good. Next couple weeks, Chicagoland, is pretty decent. The other two tracks, pretty decent at. We just got to get some more practice and get back to work in the shop.
Well, Brian, you did a fine job at doing everything that you needed to do here tonight to walk away with some great points. You finished 12 spots in front of where you started here tonight, walking away in a third place. So, again, congratulations and hats off with a fantastic road course run here tonight. Before we let you go, though, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that 98?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks especially to you, Dave, for broadcasting our race. Want to give a shout out to the love of my life tonight, big supporter for me tonight, and shout out to all my teammates.
All right, my man. Well, if that's all, then we'll look forward to catching up with you possibly next week at Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. We'll keep chasing to the front.
Well, all right. There you have it, man. A few words, man. Walking away in the third spot here tonight. Driver inside of that 98 machine, Brian Fine. Now we'll jump up to another driver that's very familiar to the post-race interview booth here. Alexander Encarnacio walking away in the second spot here tonight. Man, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm tired. Ready to go to bed.
Was it the right-hand turns that made you tired or just all the lefts?
It was the lap cars not knowing where to go.
A little bit of a frustrating night out there on the track, but coming into tonight's race, if my memory serves me correct, not one of your favorite tracks here, but still walking away with a solid run here, so you got to be somewhat satisfied.
Yeah, I really don't have much experience with road courses, with the any NASCAR car, Cup car, truck car. So, and I really should have practiced more, but I'm satisfied with the second. It is what it is. Trevor, it was pretty obvious he had a nitrous bottle in that truck. There's nothing I was gonna do to catch him. That truck was so bad. I don't know how I held on to it at the end. Brian was catching me pretty quickly. He had a really good run. Shout out to him. I think he was using like the iRacing fix setup, so he definitely wheeled that truck tonight.
Well, Alexander, you are the points leader. You have won more than anybody so far this season. We're closing in on the chase races. Out of these next 3 or 4 races, which one do you got circled on the track as one that may be your trouble spot? We head to Chicagoland, Milwaukee, and then to Pocono. Do any of those 3 kind of hit you as a track that you may need a little extra work on?
Yeah, I think the only one would probably be Milwaukee. I think I'm gonna actually take like a 3-week vacation, Milwaukee, Pocono, and Auto Club. Skip those races because I have some vacation and like family things those weekends, so I'll probably end up skipping all 3.
Well, all right. Well, I guess a good solid run here tonight is gonna do you some good with taking that vacation here a little bit later. Maybe next week at Chicago, we can talk to you in another post-race interview before you head off into that vacation and before we head off into the chase. So with all that being said, once again, man, a great run for you here tonight, walking away in second. And as always, before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on that 94?
Thanks to all the guys that make these weekly races possible. They're a lot of fun. And thank you to Bob Williams for not wrecking me tonight.
Well, all right, there you have it. Final few parting words from the driver inside of that 94. Not necessarily happy, but pretty much content with a good, solid second place run here tonight. And the driver that walked away with the race win in dominating fashion, walked away with the pole. Stage win 1, stage win 2, and then the final, the big one, the overall race win. Trevor Massetti, how many nitrous bottles did you have inside that truck?
I had all of them, honestly.
Man, I'm not meaning to be mean, rude, smart, or funny to anybody else on the field there tonight, but you were going to have to crash if anybody was going to do anything with you. 45, almost 50-second race advantage by the end of the race. Man, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I've always loved road courses and stock cars because it takes a lot of throttle control, and I'm usually pretty decent at that. So I had my eye on this race like from the beginning of the season, and started practicing a couple weeks ago, and I think I put probably 200 laps into the track. So I was ready.
Well, Trevor, with you dominating the way you did here tonight, I said it during the broadcast, so I'm going to mention it to you now. I'm already looking forward to the Daytona 24-hour race next year. What car you want to drive? Because, man, you're amazing on a road course.
I appreciate it.
Man, Trevor, a fantastic race win for you and that entire 3 crew, man. We head off to Chicagoland, Milwaukee, Pocono Auto Club. Some of those few final races before we head off into the chase. How are you feeling as we wind down the regular season and begin to hone in and focus on the chase?
I mean, feeling pretty good. Hopefully I can get some decent finishes at the rest of the normal season races and then get myself set up good for the playoffs.
All right, Trevor. Well, once again, my man, congratulations on an absolutely dominating performance here tonight from Daytona International Speedway on the road course. Before we let you go and enjoy the celebration and have the rest of the night to yourself, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that 3 truck?
Yeah, I want to say hi to my whole family, my mom, dad, brother, sister, and my Grammy and Nona for watching. So I love you guys. And yeah, my whole team, the whole team that puts on this league, Evolution Racing Leagues, and you for broadcasting.
Well, we do appreciate those kind words. And I picked something out real quick. I got to mention it because I heard you say it. I couldn't quite hear if you said Nona or no, but Italian, eh?
Yeah, my no is that's my grandpa, and yeah, Massetti, Italian.
Yeah, my wife's father, my kid's grandpa, their Nono lives out there in Arizona. Nona lives right here in North Carolina with us, and Peace Nona right here in North Carolina too. So I got you. I'm with you, my man.
Nice.
All right, Trevor. Well, once again, congratulations on the race win here tonight, and we look forward to catching up with you a little later on in the season.
Sounds good. Thank you.
There you go. There you have it, man. Final words from your race leader, Trevor Massetti, walking away with that win in dominating fashion, almost a 50-second race lead by the time he crossed the line there at the end of tonight's Hold My Beer 40 for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Another great one in the books here tonight for us on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And as always, race fans, it has been a pleasure bringing you all of the calls here trackside for the Wallbangers Racing Truck Series. Whew, what a night, what a race it was. Not sure we've got very much left to do here tonight, and Looks like indeed the producer's going ahead and hitting them buttons, so you know what time that means. It's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results, walking away with the race win here in the Hold My Beer 40 at the Daytona Road Course, the 3 of Trevor Massetti. Driver finishing in the second spot, the 94 of Alexander Encarnacio. Brian Fine with a solid run here tonight. Walks away in the third and final podium position. The 9 of Jeff Carson gonna finish in fourth, and rounding out your top 5, the 23 of Chad Biesinger. Justin Hendry gonna finish in the 6th spot. 7th goes to Michael Sheffield. Steve Kerbell in the 18 gonna finish in 8th. 9th place goes to the 69 of Garrett Davis. Chris Claude gonna round out your top 10. The 59 of Stephen Baldwin Jr. slotting home in 11th. 12th place goes to Brandon Regal. Craig Burns going to walk away from the track here tonight in the 13th spot. Jerry Culver finishing in 14th, rounding out your top 15. The 5 of Ryan Izell. Jerry Hudson going to finish in 16th. And in 17th, Bob Williams. Big tip of the cap and hats off to your race control here tonight. Chris Wilson and Kyle Spees up there in the control rooms, keeping everybody straight, making sure everything rolls smoothly here tonight. So a big time shout out to them for all that they do all race long up there, keeping all of these drivers straight, keeping everybody where they should be on the restarts. And man, oh man, race fans, another fine one in the books. And if you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash that bell over there on the right-hand side to get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside, David the Cave, or anybody else is back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Whether you're just casually stopping through or you are the dedicated friend, fan, or family, we appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So stay safe, stay loved, my friends. Until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.